Welcome back to that was terrible. Oh my god. Back to Triple Play, everybody. This is our 7th episode, but first in a long time, so definitely good to be back, and we're going to talk some trade deadline activities. And, you know, Ben had a nice little ballpark tour, a little vacation recently. Got to stay in the hotel right outside of the Rogers Center. So, Ben, talk to us a little bit about that, and then we'll get into the trade deadline talks.
Yeah, it was a really fun trip. We hit 3 ballparks in total. So we went to Detroit to see the Tigers play. So got to go see Comerica Park for the first time, which was pretty cool. Honestly, it was above my expectations. I didn't really have too much, I wasn't expecting too much from good old Comerica Park in Detroit, but honestly, it was cool. Like, outside the stadium, they got all, like, the big tiger statues I'm sure you guys have seen on TV, but really cool outside, and then inside, like, everything. It's like a shrine to Miguel Cabrera, like, that place. Like, they really love Miggy there, and rightfully so. Like, they had this big bobblehead, like life-size bobblehead of him with his like 3,000th hit like thing. It was pretty cool. And obviously they're tracking all of his stats, like his home runs and his total hits for, career stuff, because, it's the only thing Tigers fans are really looking forward to this season. But yeah, it was a cool park. We sat like right behind the right field foul pole. They were winning 3-1 going into the top of the 9th, and then good old Danny Jansen sent one into the seats, and it was a tie ball game, and they lost in extras. But there were a lot of Blue Jays fans that traveled there for that game. They were playing the Blue Jays, and I mean, it's a pretty quick trip. We only did it in a few hours, so, and Canada's right there. So yeah, we didn't really do too much else in Detroit just because we were on a mission. And then we went to Canada, which was cool. I've never been out of the country to Canada before. Got to see Rogers Center. We went to a Blue Jays game. They played the Diamondbacks, which I was really excited for because obviously got guys like Corbin Carroll, Evan Longoria, the good old Christian Walker, the whole lineup. It's a squad. And yeah, it was a great game. They really got a great thing going up there, Rogers Center. Expectations super out. It was outstanding. Really, just if anybody goes, either you guys, anyone listening, like, I really recommend in the hotel. It's called the Sportsnet Grill. It's this like little restaurant, like bar type area where you can go in and watch batting practice, and it's like the windows are right there looking into the field, which was really cool. We did that on game day. You can watch even the game in there. It's like you have to like stay. They have like sections for time, so people can't just like hog it all night and stuff like that. But it was really cool. And honestly, like one of the most modern like feeling to that stadium. Just the fans were loud. The Blue Jays fans are really cool. And they whooped the Diamondbacks that night. Vlad hit this absolute moonshot in like the 3rd inning. I got the whole at bat on camera. It was I think it was his second at bat of the game, and I was like, I'm videotaping this whole thing, and I got it on camera, so that was cool and fun. But yeah, like after the game, Vlad said, "We're bringing a championship to Toronto," and I was like, "Oh, okay, he's serious."
Over the PA.
Well, they how like they'll do interviews like after the game.
Oh, okay, I got you.
The whole stadium.
I was thinking like some intern with the Blue Jays like ran up to him, gave him a mic. He's like, "Hey, Toronto, we're doing it for the 6, baby."
That would have been funny. But honestly, like, that Blue Jays lineup has really started to heat up. They're definitely buyers at the deadline. They're definitely going to make a little bit of a splash. That lineup is pretty lethal. Pitching-wise, they have like a question mark or two here and there, but we didn't get to see Jordan Romano pitch because they blew out the Diamondbacks, but, like, he's really nasty. I mean, the AL East's got so many good closers and relievers. It's pretty crazy. I mean, between Baltimore, And obviously, every year the Yankees bullpen seems to be stacked, but that's a topic for later. But yeah, so that was really cool. And then we went to Pittsburgh for a night game. They were playing the Giants, and we got hit with a rain delay, so we had to wait like 45 minutes, which sucks.
True.
But game was started. It was like really like kind of foggy and rainy a little bit still out, but eventually when it got like darker, it was really pretty and nice. PNC's beautiful, top 3 ballpark for me. You look at like from out in center field and the bridges, it's really cool. And a lot of people I know have been telling me like, "Oh, PNC is beautiful. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it." And I was like, "It's the Pirates Stadium. Like, am I really? It really does live up to the hype." And yeah, I mean, there's like sections. If you go to a Pirates game, there's sections you got to sit in so you can see like the bridges and stuff like that in center field. But yeah, I mean, everywhere we went, food was awesome at the ballpark. They have tons of crazy things like everywhere. Like Fenway's got like little things here or there. Like, you know, I mean, like Fenway Frank isn't crazy, but like some of these ballparks have some really cool food items. I'm trying to think. Well, honestly, the AA Rubber Ducks, Akron Rubber Ducks, had some awesome food. They had this like pineapple, like half of a pineapple, like scooped out, and they put teriyaki rice and chicken and like little chunks of pineapple in there. It was really good. And then
that sounds
there's like this guy here. So they have like these like, you know, obviously like your standard like helmet like ice cream things and stuff like that.
That's like the nacho bucket, right? Yeah.
This is I forget what they call it. I think it was called the Screamer. But it's basically like this ice cream sundae, 21 scoops.
Oh,
they
shit, okay.
Up. What else am I going to do?
No, obviously, yeah.
So,
I've seen teams use like the big hats for like nachos or popcorn or something.
Yeah.
Ice cream's a new one. That sounds scarily good. Like
it was really cool. I saw like these 2 dads like had like 2 of them. I was like, yeah, they're gonna destroy those. Like this is like a week.
They're gonna house that shit.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean,
oh man,
food's really cool at a lot of ballparks, and I mean, this is our like little second ballpark tour as a family kind of thing, but they're honestly a lot of fun, a lot of time in the car, but you get used to it, and really it starts to become a food tour at a certain point because you're just traveling all across the country eating crazy food, and it's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's I think either 11 or 12 ballparks for me. The goal is 30 before 30. Will we get there? Who knows? But you know,
I like the before 30.
I still haven't gone to the New York stadiums because, you know, forbidden territory. But eventually I'm gonna have to break that barrier. So
yeah, that's an easy one, close by.
Yeah. I've only hit Fenway and City so far. City's pretty cool. They have this cool whole concourse area where they have like a shit ton of food stations.
Really,
and it's literally stretching from like third base to behind the apple in center field. It's fucking nuts. What was sleeping in a ballpark like? Because I know that hotel is like overlooking the field.
So
what was that like?
It was interesting. So the hotel is like kind of it looks into the stadium. It's like they almost like have the stadium in the outfield and then like hotel like pushed right up against it.
Oh, interesting.
So like you open your windows and like you kind of like there was like a little sliding window thing where you could put your hands through and you were like literally in the stadium. Like I couldn't touch the seats because it was a little elevated, but like would I jump out there and explore it? And I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean some crazy enough guy probably could. But yeah, I mean they had those lights on though 24/7. Like
really? Okay.
I went to sleep I think one night at like 1 a.m. Those lights were still on, but yeah, it's really cool. Obviously, like on game nights, we did not stay there on game nights because it's super expensive. Because obviously, like you're watching a baseball game from your hotel room. Like, it's pretty crazy. But I mean, it was really cool to stay there on off days and stuff like that, and see like the grounds crew like working and stuff like that. The Diamondbacks, because it was the day before All-Star like break resumed and stuff like that. The second half of the season started. The Diamondbacks came in and they were actually like warming up and taking BP, which was really, really cool.
Oh, so you got to see their like whole warm-ups, like their whole infield drills, all that stuff.
Yeah, awesome. It was awesome. The funniest part was there was like a few other people watching or whatever, and some guy like yelled something at like a few of the players, and they were like totally confused because there's like no other stadium like that where like fans are going to see your BP on an off day, so they were like looking everywhere. They're like, who is in the stadium right now? And then they realized there's like guys up there, but. Yeah, Toronto was like overall the experience was really really cool. I would definitely recommend Toronto is up there for me for my favorite just overall experiences. PNC is really cool. It's pretty close to Boston, New York area in comparison to things like Dodger Stadium. But I mean, if you're ever up in the Toronto area, definitely check out a Blue Jays game. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, and you got to see your boy Seawalk play. So,
dude, yeah, and also another sneaky thing I learned is if you're staying in a city with a ballpark, and not necessarily maybe the Yankees or Red Sox, because it's those guys. The security is probably a little tougher to get through in all the ways, but you can easily find players. Not easily, but
did you find players?
We did find 2 players. We were lucky enough to find 2 players. My mom, with her super hearing ability, overheard these 2 guys who were trying to snipe autographs, saying that a few players would be walking by. So instead of going up in the CN Tower, the tower on the Drake album, which I guess is now infamous for, but instead of going up there, we decided, we're going to wait around a little bit. And we saw these 2 guys coming towards the stadium. Of course, one of them was Christian Walker, which was really cool. He was walking up with he also
awesome.
just come out of a bar or something. He had a beer in his hand. He was strolling up, and it was hilarious. And we saw a bunch of people going for autographs, and I was like, "Hey, can we get a picture?" Snapped a quick picture, which was cool. And then the other guy that we ran into, I think maybe half an hour later, because we figured out the side of the ballpark that the away team kind of comes in. I think the Blue Jays were already all in there taking the early BP or whatever, but because it's crazy when you think about it, how long those players are at the ballpark. Some of them are getting there for a 7:00 game at 1:30. It's pretty nuts.
Yeah,
they have
early
conditioning and warming up and all that stuff, and hitting is just such an art. So it's for a lot of these guys, it's as many reps as you can get, you're taking them.
And usually in BP, the home team's out there even earlier because they have full reign of the field first, and then the road guys will get their turn to go.
Yeah. Yep. So, as far as the second guy we ran into, I didn't know who it was at first because I don't know the Diamondbacks roster like that off the top of my head, but I saw one guy go up for an autograph. Me and my brother kind of went up, and it turns out it was Tommy Henry, who is one of their starting pitchers, who's having a solid year this year. We got super lucky because he was halfway up the steps. He was gone. And I was like, hey, can we get a picture with you quick? And he came back down the steps, took a really nice picture with us. But I mean, honestly, it's really cool to have those little interactions. And they're a lot more common than you think. I mean, obviously you got your grown men who are just hunting autographs to sell on eBay out there.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to just meet ball players, they're around. So
yeah.
I mean, am I saying you're going to see Rafi Devers at Fenway, on a Friday night? Probably not. But
Ben,
you never know.
Ben, I'm gonna go back to the grown men hunting autographs.
Sure, go for it.
Yesterday, I went to the Red Sox Mets game, right?
Yeah.
And of course, everyone sees it. Devers, it's an absolute moonshot, and who caught the ball? Zach Campbell, his 92nd
the foul
career
ball king,
in-game MLB home run catch, which is absolutely nuts. He's out there, signing autographs, taking pictures of people in the bleachers.
Do you think that Hampel, how outfielders have their spray chart thing? Do you think he has one of those for every hitter? Just so he could put himself in the perfect spot.
He definitely plans it out.
Steal a kid's dream.
Oh yeah.
Well, I heard that he pushed a kid last night. I'm not sure if that was confirmed.
It was physical. Yeah, it was physical. He
gets physical.
Oh yeah.
The scene live or after the fact, whatever.
Obviously, he was just the founder of get a cup, a string, tie them together, and throw them in the bullpen and scoop up balls.
My god.
I don't really.
That's a memory.
I don't know. Growing up, when I was a little bit younger, I was like, oh, it's cool. He's going to all these stadiums and getting foul balls and having little interactions with players. It's cool or whatever. But then when it's okay, he's not just going to each ballpark for a memory, but he's going to almost 100 MLB games a season or whatever the hell he does. I'm all right, that's where I kind of the lines kind of cross there for me, where it's just a cool little thing, and it becomes his hustle. So
plus he's it's how does he even do it? A-Rod's 3,000th hit, Mike Trout's first ever homer. This guy's 45 years old and has I don't know, 15,000 MLB baseball. It's like, what?
It's kind of ridiculous.
It's
the
impressive.
bucket on a string thing, though. That called. I don't know if you guys, how much you guys were at the Pawtucket Red Sox back when they were a thing.
Oh yeah.
But because I'm in Rhode Island a lot during the summer for like growing up and everything. So we would shoot up to the Paw Sox game every once in a while, and like there'd be like a whole swarm of kids by the Paw Sox dugout with the bucket string. So one year I'm like, fuck it, I'll try my luck at it. And I got Zue Linda signed a baseball. It was cool as shit.
Legend.
I remember because he was down there and he was banging with the Sox for about a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm like, fuck it, let's give it a shot. So I got him to sign something. That was really cool. I saw Devers there, like one of the last games he was in. Like I think it was the last game he was in Triple Play or Triple A, not Triple Play. That's the name of the show. And they were doing the meet and greet.
Play, yeah.
They were doing like a player meet and greet, and Devers was there. And then all of a sudden, these like two stadium ushers like pull him to the side, and like we were in line, and we're like, oh, what the hell? And like they pull him out. And then I look at my phone on the way back, and I'm like, "Oh shit, he just got called up. That's why." And like 2 days later, he hit his first career bomb, a nuke to center. I think he was in Seattle. Yeah, because they were on a West Coast road trip. But that was like so close. Almost got to meet Devers. Yeah, and then they hustled him out real quick.
It's pretty cool how like, I mean, obviously like with other leagues like the NFL and NBA, like they do stuff kind of like meet and greet stuff, but for baseball, like, there's a lot of opportunities to, like, engage with players.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, there's your typical, like, you're, like, heckling outfilders and all that stuff. But, like, for the Red Sox, like, they have this, like, event that we went to a few years ago, like, I think a few times, called Red Sox Winter Weekend, where they have, players and stuff like that for the weekend and stuff like that. And obviously the players are there for the, the casino and having a good time and meeting some fans and stuff like that. It's a nice little off-season thing, but they have the little sessions where you go and you get an autograph, you get a picture, and, maybe you run into some, guys who will never, like, make the league. Like, oh my gosh, what's his name? I got my picture. I got the picture of him on my wall somewhere. But we ran into Hanley Ramirez one year, which was kind of funny.
Red Sox legend.
It was his second stint with the Sox, but
like he was an all-star during somewhere in that stretch.
He was.
2017 Hanley Ramirez was something else, man.
Oh yeah,
he was raking.
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool how with baseball, like, there's so many opportunities and stuff like that for fans and stuff like that, and I don't know, it's really cool to just get immersed in that, that world. So that's
stadium
my
culture.
Yeah,
even if you're just going to minor league games, like minors are fun as shit, dude.
Yeah, minors are so like you have to get to Polar Park. Have either of you been yet?
I have not been up there yet.
No.
Yeah, I was a Paw Sox regular and was pissed when they left. But I
I
do want to get up to Polar.
But McCoy, respectfully, I love it. Shithole compared to Polar Park.
It wasn't. It was kind of a dump.
It was
great
like
memories, but it was a dump.
Yeah, like Polar Park. I'm going there Wednesday again with the camps. I get to bring a 10-year-old to Polar Park.
Yeah,
and Trevor Story.
Is it like a weird 11 a.m. game or something?
Yeah, it's like a noon game.
Yeah, okay. Because I've been doing like camera work and shit for the single A team near me. It's a Yankees affiliate, so yeah, I'm crossing state lines there. But like no, they'll do like some weird like 11 a.m. games.
Yep.
For like camps or they did one for like middle school kids or some shit. Back to the weird food thing though. Another thing that the Renegades do. So cider donuts are a big thing. Like
I saw
New York, right?
Cool.
And I have the hat.
Well, let's see it.
So boy, this will be good.
They have a cider donuts alter ego.
That's fire.
Check it. That is fire, so right? Fire. This is one of my new favorite hats. It's so cool. And like alternate jerseys, the whole 9 yards. The concession stands also go out.
Yeah.
They have the weirdest fucking combinations, and I haven't tried it yet because it's like $10, and I don't feel like spending $10.
You got that burger one, right?
It's an apple cider donut burger. Yeah. So it's like they basically take a cider donut, cut that bitch in half, take a burger patty, cheese, slap it together. They also have mac and cheese, so there's that option. I haven't it's probably decent, like some brown sugar spice combo going on in there.
Has to be.
It's just so out of the world. Like it's just such a ballpark food thing. Like, but I like
something. It seems like something you'd either be craving at like 1 a.m. or like 11 a.m. Like it seems
or
like
something like
so polar opposite,
or something like a 5-year-old would think would be delicious. Like I feel like that's half of what ballpark food is. It's just some kid was
Yeah.
like, "What if we stick these two things together and also make it 2 feet long?" Like,
For real. Yeah, and also make it 2 feet long.
have you seen that like hot dog thing the Rangers have? That's like fucking 3
Dude,
feet long.
that's
Nachos on it. God, it looks like a heart attack, but I want to try it.
And it probably
I know
costs
a lot
like
of-
$30.
Oh
A
my
lot
god,
of
more than
people-
that.
Yeah, a lot of people like love the skyline like chili thing, and like with Cincinnati where we went last summer. But I didn't dive. I'm not a big like chili guy. Like I didn't dive into any of that.
Chili
But-
will fuck you up, man.
Yeah, it's an
It
experience.
Will. It will. 12-hour regret, man. Like there's
Oh,
a
yeah.
period. But yeah, ballpark culture is awesome. Beckett, what were you saying something about the minors too? Before I jump
I
on
don't
the
even
cider
know.
donut spiel.
We can
Although-
end this up here, Ben, real quick before
Yeah.
the trade deadline. For the listeners, for us, if you had to recommend one ballpark, not Fenway, we're gonna
Yeah,
exclude Fenway. One
Okay.
ballpark for experience, the city, the team, the food, whatever. All in all, atmosphere. What are you taking right now beside Fenway?
it's tough. It's tough. I know like Wrigley's probably the boring answer, but like the fandom, the actual ballpark, like the food in Chicago, also just like the atmosphere of Chicago too. Like you could take like the river's like running through like the city. Like you can take the like tour and stuff like that. It's beautiful. I mean, they call it the Windy City for a reason. It might be Chicago. I think
Yeah.
other than Chicago, Cincinnati is underrated as a whole. Obviously, their fandom is on the rise now with guys like Ellie, and they're playing exciting baseball again. But the food that I had at that stadium was really cool. It's also just like a cool, unique little place, and like the vibes were good there. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. I have not been to Camden yet, but Camden Yards
Mm.
looks like such a party.
I agree.
The
That's
splash
great.
zone is just
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
And
It's
then-
perfect.
Talking like West Coast, San Francisco. I want to go to San Francisco.
Yeah, a Giants
so
game was
bad.
awesome.
That's
I would
that's
love
probably
to
on the
just
top
take a
of my list.
kayak out in McCovey Cove
Yes.
and try
Yes.
and like jostle for some fly balls. I also feel like
Yeah.
Coors Field would be a party. Like
Sure.
it's not a phenomenal stadium. It's
We
fine.
were so close to Coors back
That's
then.
what that's
But
why
I feel like it would just
I
be
was
so
like,
fun.
I was out there for a week. They were home for a few days.
Yeah.
I really wish I got there while I was in Colorado, but
And you probably see some
I'm sorry.
goofball like Nolan Jones at 1,500.
yeah,
He's such a funny guy. I love Nolan Jones.
He hits.
He's so
He reminds me he's like a white Nomar Mazara. Dude just hits moonshots and nothing else.
Loki, yeah.
he's got a great arm too. He's got an absolute cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like out west, when we were in Toronto and eating at the Sportsnet Grill thing, there was this guy and these two little kids these two little boys or whatever, like who big Blue Jays fans. They were from like some other place in Canada. I don't remember because I don't know Canada, but like they had done like an out west trip, Dodgers, Giants, like Padres. They said Petco Park is phenomenal.
Oh,
So,
my dad's
I've
been
heard-
there.
Really cool things
Yeah,
about it.
he told me it was awesome. Like he went there on like a business trip thing, and it was he
Yeah.
went to San Diego for a business trip, and then the company went to a game for like an event, and they were on top of the I don't remember if it's like a steel building, whatever that building in left field. They were
Yeah.
sitting on the top of that,
Oh, that's cool.
and apparently it was an
Oh, yeah.
awesome time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, Petco's
I mean-
on the bucket list too.
There's such an exciting team right now. Like obviously with Tatis, Soto, for who knows, maybe hopefully a little longer for Padres fans. But
Yeah, I don't know what's
we'll
going
talk a little
on with
bit
the
about that stuff
Padres,
later,
man.
But
We
Machado,
can transition
you know,
now if you want, like.
yeah.
Because the Padres are a team that could do fucking anything at the deadline.
they really good.
Like I don't know what direction they're going. Because where are they in the West right now? They're fourth, right? Did they jump?
In the West, they are in the fourth.
They were
They're 10
behind the
games back
Giants
out
the
of
last
first
I
place.
looked. Giants
Yeah,
are
they're
also
5
an
and a half
interesting
back.
team.
For a
Yeah,
wild
the
card
Giants.
oh, they're not. They're
10
not that far
back
back at
to back.
500 anymore. Only 4 games. 4 games out of 500. But the Giants are on fire right now.
Yeah.
Like they have really come out of nowhere and like they were fourth in the division, like sub 500 the start of the month, and now they're 54 and 47, nipping on the D-backs' heels. I mean, they could be ahead of the Dodgers in a week, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. I mean, I think coming into the season, like obviously no one saw what they were gonna do in 2021, where they won like 100 and whatever 7 games. Like I think whatever or 5 maybe.
Won the division by like a game or two.
Yeah, but this year, like, I didn't think they had a shot. I didn't think they had a shot
I didn't
at
either.
all. I thought fourth place team, third at best. But they're really competing right now, and I think they'll be buyers at the deadline. I think they might buy an arm, maybe one more bat. Not sure exactly what they'd be targeting, but like they could sneak into a wild card spot. That NL wild card spot, like race is super close right now.
Yeah, I honestly really like their arms. They have a lot of good pitchers on this roster. Like, I could list names for like 5 for a while. They have the 2 Rogers twins, Cobb, Webb, Wood, Stripling, Sean Manaea. Like, they got guys out there. Duvall. They got dudes. And their lineup is pretty damn good, too. There's not a ton of big name guys.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, Jock Peterson's the kind of guy you want around October. I mean, he just enters a different planet. The pearls and all that stuff.
Bring out the pearls,
dude. I missed playoff Jock last season, but obviously, like Patrick Bailey, low key has been pretty good this season too.
That
like
dude has a cannon on him.
Yeah,
like, I saw like a 5-minute highlight reel of him just gunning dudes down. Dude is smooth with it.
They have
a ton of good young bats.
Yeah,
Davis, Flores, couple rookies, Schmidt and Matos. I really like.
Yeah,
Lamonte Wade Jr. is an underrated guy. He can hit. Like, they're not a bad squad. I think they're like a couple stars away from making maybe an NLCS run.
I did say Shohei to the Giants on Twitter a few weeks ago. I'm not sure if it's looking as ideal.
That's
because
the big question.
They're in such a weird place. They're in such a weird place.
That's the biggest. I think the biggest question: does Shohei get moved? Like if I'm the Angels, do I really want to pull the trigger on that? Even though they're like neck and neck for a wild card spot right now, they've never pulled the trigger on Trout. And obviously, he signed long term. He's going to be here for 10 years. But Shohei's a free agent. Do you want to really risk losing him for nothing? But at the same time, you're right in the thick of it, and you have 2 of the best players. Like, if I'm the Angels, man, I don't know what the hell I would do.
I think I'm trading him if I'm the Angels. Unless I can get a guarantee that he's re-signing, I think he's gone. You have to get something for him. Like, even on a rental, this guy's still like 5 top prospects.
Yeah.
A couple actual big
easily.
league players.
Like, he is going to get a package probably like much bigger than the Soto deal, and the Soto deal was big.
Massive. Yep. It's going to be a massive haul. I agree with you, Beckett. I think that Shohei is such an interesting. The idea of him being traded is so interesting solely because there's been other stars that clearly you could say in the offseason, he's out. He doesn't want to play with that team anymore. Like, they're not competing. They aren't giving, they're not trying to win games. They're not, the money's not there. There were situations in the past, like with Soto, where you could tell, like, he's gone. He's walking if they don't.
Yeah, and the Nationals were trading guys left and right, too, and they were starting to begin that rebuilding process.
Yeah.
But it's just weird because the Angels are doing what the Angels always do is just be fucking mid as shit.
Yeah. I listened to a clip, I think it was the Rich Eisen show, where Pedro Martinez came on, and he talked about Shohei. And he said Shohei wants to win. Like, you can tell, and you can watch the games. I mean, obviously he had that crazy home run bat flip combination a few nights ago, but like he will, like, just the fact that he's a two-way player shows you, like, he is going out there every night trying to win ball games. And honestly, I think he's had a good time in LA, but those times are really starting to wind down because he's realizing that, when he was a little kid, he wrote down all the things and when the years he was going to do them, like win the World Series, win a site, like all that stuff. Like, he has big goals. And I think that there's a few teams out there that have some solid farm systems, I think, that could maybe swing an offer for him. But it's tough to see if those teams would even be willing to throw the money. Like, the Rays have such a great farm system, but would they make that trade? Because in the offseason, I don't think they'd pay Ohtani, $500,000 or whatever the hell he wants.
And even on just a rental, like, again, you're still giving up 4 top prospects minimum, probably. And possibly even big league caliber guys. I would not be surprised if we saw a couple big league caliber dudes in the deal. For half a year of Ohtani, not even. If you don't know for a fact you're going to be able to fork over $700 million to re-sign him, like, do you want to pull the trigger on that move? I think it's going to be kind of situational. I feel like if LA is in a wild card spot or like vaults Houston or something, I think they hold on to him. That's a big if though, because they're 4 back from Houston right now, 4 out of a wild card spot.
See, I think the problem with that is even if they do find a way to jump Houston, that means they're sellers they're buyers at the deadline. Like they can't with Ohtani. Like right now, the situation they're in, they can't go in it and be like, we're not going to buy, we're not going to sell. We're just going to kind of sit here and keep playing our game because like obviously if they want to win, they got to buy. But the problem is if they buy and don't win, it hinders their rebuild even more.
Exactly,
Obviously,
it shoots them in the foot.
But I think, like Beckett said, the best move for the Angels from a perspective of pure baseball play and trying to get back to the winning ways is selling Ohtani. Like we've said, they're going to get an absolute haul for him. The question is, will management actually pull the trigger, and will they look at it only from a baseball perspective or just the absolute boatload of money in merchandise and just selling out and selling seats because they come to see Ohtani and then when he goes to sit down in the dugout they're all the fans are gone, they just disappear it seems like. But Ohtani is such an interesting piece to me because for a buyer that's looking to acquire him, it's adding at the top bat and a top 5 at least arm on the just a bat and an arm you're buying, essentially.
Exactly, killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Because it's just such a lose-lose situation to be in if you're the Angels GM, because either you hold on to Ohtani, risk him walking, and that screws you over because you're losing the best player in the world for nothing, or you pull the trigger and be the guy that got rid of the best player on the planet. Like, you're not in a winning situation here either way. The only thing that would work out is if they decide to hold on to him, decide, okay, yes, we can get it done this year, buy around him and convince him to stay. That's the only way they win in this scenario.
So risky too.
And they need so many things to go right too, because they're in a tough division. They need to add a couple pieces to really be there. So bottom of the lineup help would be awesome. Pitching help,
starting
pitching. But they don't really have the prospects to go do that. They got a couple good ones, but not sell the farm kind of prospect where you can afford to shed 5 dudes to still be fine. Like the Braves, the Dodgers, the Rays, teams like that. I just don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with Ohtani.
It's scary.
It's not a good spot.
I got an idea here. You could shut it down. It's a little crazy. We're talking trade deadline. We're talking buy and sell. What if I throw out a few teams? You say if they're going to be buyers or sellers, and
I like this.
You like this idea? All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and keep it so it's not just the Rangers that buyers. I'll do.
Obviously buy, but teams that could go either way. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this.
So I'll start off with that. We're going to go to the AL Central. Let's go with Cleveland. What do they do? They're 3 games back from the division right now.
Yeah. So the Central is not going to have any wildcard teams. You have to win the division to make the playoffs in this. I think the fact that Shane Bieber's going to be out for, he just got put on the 60.
Brutal.
That hurts them a lot. Their offense has been terrible. I think this year, you don't need to fully rebuild. You don't need to trade J-Ram. You don't need to do crazy stuff like that. Deal some guys on expiring deals. Reload your farm system. Wait for next year. I think that's what the Guardians should do. So sell, but not sell everything. Just
I agree.
Yeah. See, I agree with you. There is an argument for buying, obviously, because the Twins will probably buy themselves. I would buy if I was the Twins.
Yeah.
They're
this
not
is kind of where the
big.
Central was last year, too. Where the Twins were up, Guardians were down, and then the Guardians jumped them in August.
Yeah.
So that argument's in your favor, too.
The thing is, I'm not just looking at the division if I'm the Guardians, because you've already made the playoffs. You've proven that you can get to that point. I'm looking at the rest of the American League, and for teams that are gonna be in October, they're towards the bottom. I think they would be first-round exits if they were able to even win the division. So, honestly, I agree with you. I'd sell maybe expiring contracts. A guy I look at maybe selling would be a guy like Josh Bell.
Yeah.
Perhaps. And I think you could get a few good prospects for him, potentially, for a team that, is just missing a first baseman. So, I agree with you, Nick. I'd say a slight sell. So,
all right. I agree. Now I'm gonna try and keep this moving. We're gonna go out west. Nick, your guys over in Seattle, what are they doing? They're 50 and 49. They're 4.5 out of a wild card, 8.5 back in the division.
Yeah, so this team, man, I thought these Mariners were maybe gonna fight with the Astros for the top of the West, and the Rangers came out of nowhere and took all that and buried it. This Mariners team has been really streaky and really struggling. Their pitching has been honestly fine. They have a ton of good arms. They always have. It's just their offense sucks this year. And it's an old lineup too. There's some old guys here. I think that they need to sell any expiring guys, get some of the youth up, and go for it next year. Because they're behind so many teams right now, and things just aren't really clicking. They're below 500. I think they got to sell this year. You don't have to sell Logan Gilbert. You don't have to sell any of your prime guys. You can sell off Eugenio Suarez. You can sell off Colton Wong. I think even Teoscar Hernandez you can trade. Because this lineup's shit.
Doesn't get the job
Go
done.
retool your lineup. Keep the pitching intact. This year's not your year, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you asked me this question 10 days ago, maybe 2 weeks, I would probably have a different answer for you. Because I think a lot of people thought that, second half of this season, the Mariners were just going to turn it on. They were going to figure it out. But I agree with you yet again here, Nick. I think selling is the best option for them long term. I think they've identified their exciting, young core, their franchise star in Julio Rodriguez. Yeah. I think that they've shown that they can, like the Guardians, that they can get to October. I think they just got to be patient and realize, the Rangers are peaking right now, but eventually, in a couple years, their roster's going to have some question marks in it, and Houston's going to be in it, but they could build a very strong lineup if they deal, like you were just saying, a guy like Teoscar Hernandez, just a few guys get prospects, or even a guy who's major league ready, but kind of like a guy who's still young, up and coming. So
yeah, or some a couple of young guys who've been in the show like cup of coffee, but aren't fully there yet. Again, the Mariners and Guardians are both kind of in the same boat for me right now. They both have really good pitching, really bad offenses, and they're kind of in the middle of the pack. And having good pitching is the start of it. I think if your team has good pitching, you have a decent foundation. So that's why I'm saying don't blow it up, but don't lose any prospects to go try and get it done this year either.
Beckett, come on, get us going
right,
here.
I'm gonna try and get you going. I have two more American League teams, and then we'll jump to the National League.
Okay.
We'll start off here, American League East.
Oh.
Right now, tied for the basement, the New York Yankees. 2 back in the wild card.
I like this one. This one you go either way because the AL East, every team has a winning record. Every team is I think 5 games over 500 or something like that. Oh man, Ben, you go first. Right. I keep stealing your thunder.
So I have this conversation almost, I don't know, at least 2 or 3 times a week with Aaron.
Because
he's
shout out Aaron.
Yep, he's been upset with the Yankees, and rightfully so. Obviously, that lineup has been abysmal. Rizzo finally hit a home run, so shout out Anthony Rizzo for finally remembering how to put the ball over the fence. Stanton's been pretty bad. I mean, he's starting to heat up a little bit. DJ LeMahieu just isn't the same guy as he is.
Yeah.
I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah. Pitching-wise, they've been pretty good. Their starters get the job done a lot. Bullpen, they've had a little bit of struggles blowing games, but it happens when teams are struggling. And obviously with Judge hurt, that really impacts the decision, I think. I think they're I hate to use the word heavy sellers, but I think they're strong sellers. I don't think you see a guy like Glaber go, but you might. You might see a guy like Glaber go even.
Whoa, that's okay.
That's strong. he's a young guy, and he's arguably been their best hitter this year, I would say.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, the only reason why I say you maybe see Glaber go is because you look at guys like Rizzo and Stanton and DJ LeMahieu. If you sell any of those guys, they have number one, they have big contracts, and number two, like, what excites teams about that? Like, that are buying. Like, if I'm, let's say, I don't know, the Orioles right now, who, shout out to them, by the way. Nick, you were right about them. They have really turned it up.
They picked up Aaron Hicks and just started sprinting, man.
I still think they're falling off, but we'll get to that later.
No, dude, they are legit. They just jumped Tampa a couple days ago. Like, this team can play.
Like, they're missing a starting pitcher, I would say. But like, also, they might consider buying, a veteran bat. Like, would they be interested in Rizzo, LeMahieu, or Stanton? I don't think so. So I think that they have to get packaged with stuff that's a little more interesting. Maybe a bullpen arm or two. Maybe. Yeah. And see, I think the best piece they could get returned for and really stock up their farm system is Gleyber Torres. Now, I really like Gleyber Torres. If I was the Yankees, would I sell him? I don't think so. But like, if you're gonna commit to a little bit of a retooling and trying to, figure out new guys for this lineup, because I haven't even mentioned how bad Josh Donaldson is.
I knew that was coming.
Retired.
He has
Josh
been
Donaldson.
DFA worthy.
Yes, but if you're gonna retool this lineup, get it younger. Like, you gotta sell something that's valuable. And Aaron's gonna hate me for saying it, but I think they will trade Gleyber Torres.
Yeah.
Call me crazy. I'm gonna.
That's going on the Instagram Reels.
I'm gonna go. Ben, I kind of agree with you on the selling point.
Okay. Yeah.
It's going to be weird on how they do that, though, because of, again, all the hefty contracts. They're only going to be able to unload a lot of these guys if they make Hosmer-style trades where they're eating a ton of money. Also, the Yankees don't really do the whole selling thing. They just kind of keep buying until it works, and it hasn't been.
Yeah.
I think we could. I would not be surprised if they dealt a couple of their pitchers, guys like Severino, like some of their older pitchers who've been there for a bit, that they could get some value for. Because teams are always looking for pitching. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to clear some of their positional log jams too, because they have a ton of young guns on the way up. Austin Wells at the catching position. What's that kid's name? Not Peraza. Not
Jason Dominguez.
Jason Dominguez is one of them. He's not. I don't think he's ready yet.
See,
but
here's my
Oswaldo Cabrera.
No, not Cabrera. He's a number 4 prospect. Yankees.
See, here's my only thing with that. Which, talking with Aaron, he knows these guys so much better than I do.
Emerson Pereira. He's a baller.
Yeah. But the problem with that is, like, a lot of Yankees fans have been like, could they go after a guy like Shohei and trade a bunch of their top prospects? But the problem with that is, or a guy like him, a big name star, the problem is their prospects haven't been that good this year. I mean, Jason Dominguez is batting like 220 or like really, he's having a terrible offensive year, and Austin Wells hasn't been that great. I mean, he's still a good talent and still a good prospect overall.
He's better than Ben Vortvet.
Yeah,
get him up.
Yeah, he is. But still, like, it's rough because the pieces that they have to go out and maybe do a partial buy, it's like
because they've already. And that's because they've done that the past couple of years. They spent a ton of guys to go get Frankie Montas. Didn't work. Spent a ton of guys to go get other veteran dudes to come in. Carlos Rodon. Oh, no, they signed Rodon. I'm dumb.
Rizzo.
Did they? Rizzo. That's what I'm thinking of. LeMay, even, a lot of their veteran guys, they've already sold off pieces to go get them. Rodon's been kind of stinking too, but I think the Yankees rushed him back. That's not related.
Another guy who is potentially maybe trade worthy for them is Harrison Bader. But I'm not sure his status with injuries. I think he's kind of lingering with that.
Teams could always use speed, though. I do like that.
But he's on an expiring contract, so other than maybe like a guy like Torres, that's your best value piece probably. But
then you also got guys like Clay Holmes, Tommy Conley out of the bullpen.
Yeah, like again, if I'm the Yankees, I think they should sell. Now, will they sell? Probably not. They're the Yankees. They always try and buy. But this lineup is so terrible. And the pitching is solid. The pitching is solid, but the lineup is so terrible. I think this year they need to just kind of take stock, realize, okay, maybe not this year. unless they start playing better before August 1st, like much better, I think they need to start to transition some of those youth in to take over next year, start getting some of these big contracts out the door, and maybe deal a couple veteran pitchers to supplement the farm system again. That's the smart, holistic thing to do. Will the Yankees do that? Probably not. They usually don't.
I fully agree.
Yeah. My last note on them is call me crazy if I'm crazy, but is the best move they could make at the deadline saying goodbye to Aaron Boone? Because he's been really bad this year as a manager.
He's been really bad his whole career as a manager.
Didn't they? They did fire a hitting coach recently. I think it's possible.
They did.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. That might be something we see more September though, or end of the season. I don't think they're going to make a drastic change mid-season. That would be very un-Yankees to do.
A drastic change. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's 100% fair.
Yeah.
Because again, this team has been pretty injury plagued. I'm not going to deny that. That's kind of why I also think, hey, maybe retool for next year, get some younger, more talented bats around Judge, get some younger, fresh arms out of the pen, go for it next year. Because next year, I think they can really run the table and be better than Boston, Tampa, even maybe Toronto.
Good.
Which scares me to say, but it's possible.
Yeah. It is possible. I fully agree. I don't think they will sell, but I do think they should sell. And Brian Cashman, a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
We'll do one more American.
I know who this last team is, but say it back in.
Yeah. We'll do one more American League team. I think everyone knows who it is at this point. Then we'll jump to the National League and do a few more, wrap up the episode. But, all right, our Boston Red Sox, same spot as the Yankees. Their farm has been much better than the Yankees this year, and they're hotter than the Yankees right now. Both teams have big pieces coming off the injury list soon. What do you think the Red Sox will do at the deadline, or what do you think the Red Sox should do at the deadline? 2 games back of the playoffs.
I went first on the Yankees, Nick. It's all you here.
Yeah. I think the Red Sox, what they're going to do is probably what Chaim Bloom did last year. Honestly, they're probably going to sell a couple guys, try and have their cake and eat it too. Bloom did that last year. He sold Vasquez, bought like Tommy Pham, made some very non-altered, like franchise-altering moves. None of it mattered. What they should do, that depends on how crazy we want to get. If they think they can catch Toronto, either not catching Tampa or Baltimore probably, but if they think they can catch Toronto, I think they should buy some pitching. I like this lineup. I don't think the lineup needs too much help. Maybe a bat at the bottom of the lineup. They always do like to get a veteran power hitter. That couldn't hurt. They need to buy some starting pitching.
Yeah.
If they really think that they can make a run at the wild card this year, buy some starting pitching. And again, they have some of the prospects to do it. They're very heavy at the middle infield position on their top 30 prospects. I think we can see some of those guys get dealt for some pitching help. Young dudes too. A lot of these guys are like 19 single A rookie ball. Those will usually get you a good pitcher or two on an expiring deal. I think they should do now. Do I think they should do that, or do I just want them to do that because I'm a fan and I think they're going to make the playoffs this year? I don't know, because the Red Sox are again one of those teams that plays very roller coaster. Will be red hot for 10 games and then fall off a cliff and lose 2 to the A's. Again, this team has been very roller coaster all year. Chaim is probably going to try and do both. He's probably going to try and sell some expiring contracts. I saw some Kike to the Dodgers rumors recently.
Which I support it because Kike hasn't been that great.
Kike has been pretty awful. I do love him.
Let's see what the return is, though.
Yeah.
He's got no value.
Again, it's a lot of sell. There's a lot. Same thing with the Yankees. A lot of their guys are at sell low points right now, which basic economics, you don't want to do that. Yeah. I honestly, I would say if the Sox really think they can be aggressive, go for it. Big series coming up against the Braves. If you can take a couple, if you can take them 2 or 3, I think this team should buy.
2-game series. 2-game series.
Oh, it's a 2-game series.
If
they can even split it. If you don't get swept at
home, right?
It is
at home. Bayo Strider Wednesday night, ESPN.
That's prime time. That's prime time.
I think. So I would say I think this team should what they realistically should do is probably tentatively buy, get some starting pitching you can control for a bit. That would be the smartest thing to do if I'm the Red Sox. Get some decent starting pitching you think has high upside that you can control for a year or two, and don't give up anything crazy. Don't give up York. Don't give up Mayer. Don't give up Mata. Don't give up any of those big name guys. Give up a couple 19-year-olds at the bottom of your 30. Get some starting pitching you can hold for a year or two. I like that. Heim probably won't do that, but I want him to do that.
Yeah, I'll go last, Ben. What do you got?
So I got a tweet pulled up. It reads, "The Red Sox are making playoffs. Don't let this team get hot." Was tweeted July 9th at 4:46 p.m. by yours truly.
Okay.
I'm doubling down. They're going to make the playoffs, all right? But they have to buy, like you're saying, Nick, it's a situation where it's a careful buying. You can't give up any of your top prospects. Now, will they go far in the playoffs? I don't think so. I think we have 2021 still stuck in our minds from when they went on that run where Beckett was there when they wiped the floor with the Yankees in the wild card. And then they, had this insane series with the Tampa Bay Rays, who everyone thought was going to beat us. And then they make it to the ALCS. They're up 2-1. I'm telling everybody I know we're going to the World Series, and then I jinxed it. Sorry, guys. But it's not going to be like that this year. The AL East, even the AL East is just too good. Like, would we beat the Rays in the playoffs? I don't know. It would be a good series. Would we beat the Orioles? I'm more likely to say the Orioles because of their inexperience. But still, if the game's on the line and it's like Felix Bautista versus Devers, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little worried.
That would be an electric matchup, though.
It would be electric.
That would be electric.
But I've been saying Jordan Montgomery to the Red Sox for a little bit of time now. The Cardinals are going to be sellers.
I would love that move.
I would like that move. There's guys that have been rumored to be, Marcus Stroman will probably be sold. Do I think it's such a weird thing because it could either go really right with him in Boston or he could just become really bad. It's like it's black and white. There's no middle ground where he'd just be an okay move. But I think this team still thinks that they can compete. They're doing well, I'd say, for the most part, other than that one Oakland series where, they lost that series. But, they're doing well. They're starting to find a rhythm. Casas, he's killing it right now. There are guys in that
even
lineup.
You, man.
Yeah,
Chang is hitting the shit out of the ball recently.
It's just, I don't think with that lineup that you're selling. And I mean, guys like Adam Duvall, you could sell. I mean, it's a one-year deal kind of thing, and he was a great signing, I thought. I mean, played well, and if you can sell him for some good prospects, it's a good signing. But there's guys like him and Kike and a few other little...
I'm thinking Turner, too, maybe.
Turner as well.
You might unload Turner to free up some space. I would want... if Heim can go make a couple moves like he did with the Pivetta trade a few years ago, if he can do that twice in Montgomery, I think would be a really good pickup. I would love Stroman on the Red Sox. That guy is a fiery competitor, and he's one of the few pitchers that really shows it. I'd like him, but even you don't even have to go crazy. Get some reliable arms that can get you innings and be effective. That was what the Nick Pivetta trade was. I thought that was an awesome trade in the moment, just because of the upside, and then obviously Pivetta had the postseason he did, and Heim looked really smart for that.
Which Pivetta still got it in the bag.
He had a good outing the other night.
He's been pretty good recently. I mean,
they're using him kind of like a long reliever now.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's weird. I like where he's at. I kind of wish he was in the rotation, but it's the same thing. You don't.
But if he can give you four innings in a playoff game, that's invaluable.
That's massive. I mean, also with Stroman, I mean, another chance bringing in a veteran pitcher like that who can mentor a guy like Bayo, who doesn't necessarily need a lot of mentoring, but to take the step from a great pitcher to elite, Iggs type stuff for the next few years. I mean, it's not a bad move, even if you end up falling short, don't make the playoffs. But if Stroman can help mature Bayo and some of the other younger pitchers that the Sox are working with now, that's not a big loss. So I want to hear what you think, Beckett, because I know you were with me kind of at the beginning of the season, preaching that the Sox could make the playoffs, the Sox could be buyers. Where are you at now? Because we haven't talked about it in a little time.
Nick might hate me for this because I know you said you don't want Heim Bloom to walk the tightrope. You kind of want him to commit. Yeah, I'm going to say I think I want Heim Bloom to walk the tightrope again. the thing that's changing that is the way that Verdugo's been playing lately, which has been awful the last 2 or 3 weeks. That's what scared me. I was on you got Duran, Verdugo, Yoshida, Rep Snyder, fine. That's a good outfield. Pablo Reyes or Kike can play some outfield when they're back / gone. Kike, see ya. But Verdugo slumping has me like, okay, do they keep Duvall? See, I'm still on the trade Duvall. I think I would trade Adam Duvall, see what you can get for him. As far as other guys, nothing else jumps out at me. I would keep Turner. I would keep guys like Martin and Kenley. They're back next year. And I would go and buy after that. I think Duvall's the one piece that you can sell that really sticks out. I wouldn't go for a Stroman or anyone crazy. It would be nice, but I just think you'd have to give up too much. I think if you get Sale back, that guy was pitching phenomenal before he was hurt, which we say this every year. But I'm going to say it again. If a healthy Sale is still dangerous. If you have Sale, Bayo, I don't think you sell Paxton if you at least split with the Braves and you're hanging there. I think you keep Paxton, and at worst, you would give him the qualifying offer for $20 million next season. So you got Bayo, Paxton, Sale. Cutter Crawford has been solid as a back-end starter, and then you got guys like Whitlock and Houck coming back very soon. So Whitlock, Houck, Crawford, 1 or 2 of those 3 can definitely be in your rotation. I would get a back-end guy. I know Rich Hill has been a name that's thrown out there. Come back in again. He's not very good, but he's also not terrible.
He's like a regular in Boston. He's got to have
he's an innings eater. That man can eat innings.
He's just so mid. He's so mid. He wouldn't cost you anything. I'm not opposed to it. I wouldn't love it. It's not going to be like, oh my god, they got Rich Hill. But it's like, all right, fine.
What do you think? Who do you think will cost? Who do you guys think will cost more at the deadline? A guy like Giolito or a guy like Stroman? I'd probably say Stroman. I'm not sure how much of a difference though it is.
Giolito's
I think
got
Giolito,
like a 4 ERA this year.
I think
he
would
might
cost
have more
more,
team
though.
control though.
Yeah, that's what I think. Stroman's
He's younger too.
Yeah.
I would. Giolito's a guy I would love to see the Sox go out and get. They just probably have to give up some names for him.
Yeah.
You can just at least
what about Dylan Cease? Because that's been a name that's legitimately been thrown around in trade rumors.
Cease?
I say no. I think they you have to give up way too much to get him.
Cease has been having a down year. It's that would be a risky move, and again, like that's a dude who has a lot of team control. With team control, you have to give up more. So Cease is a name I would like to see come to Boston. I just don't think he's going to be at a good price for Boston.
That's valid.
All right. Let's jump to the National League. We've gone for a while now. I'll do 2 or 3 National League teams pretty quick.
We'll try to hurry it up a little.
Yeah, we're going to start off in the NL West here. Arizona Diamondbacks. This is a team that's lost 4 in a row, but they're still half a game up in the wild card, 4 games back in the division. Do the Diamondbacks buy?
Absolutely. I'm gonna say absolutely.
Yep.
This team was beating up on the Braves. This team was above the Dodgers at one point. I'm not worried about a little bit of a slump. This team is good. This team can compete this year. This team should be heavy buyers. This is a team I would look to go out and make some nutty moves like Cease. I can see Cease in Arizona easily. Some big bats I could see coming to the D-backs. I think they're going to buy up and down the roster. They're going to make themselves better. They already have a good lineup. They have good pitching staff. I think they're going to go out and get better. We can see some moves kind of like when they brought in JD Martinez 5 years ago at this point. Holy shit. Wow. That feels like it was like 3 years ago. But no, it was like 5 or 6. Oh, my God. This team absolutely should buy. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Even though I watched them get it handed to them by the Blue Jays, this team is still very talented. There's a few maybe positions of need. They have vets like Longoria and Christian Walker, and Ketel Marte, who cannot field to save his life, made 4 errors the night that I went to the game, and I was literally yelling at him because it was a routine ground ball and he spiked it in the ground and caused a run to score. But they have guys who can, really rake up crazy offensive numbers. Pitching's been great. Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen has been. I think we kind of saw Zach Gallen a little bit. I know you liked him, Nick, in the offseason, but
I
Merrill Kelly has been a kind of a guy who's just
Kelly's been good too.
Sport.
He's been hurt a little bit recently, but I think he's back soon. And he was putting up. I mean, his ERA is almost identical to Gallen's. Like,
if you're Arizona, I think you say all in. You get whatever you think you need to go for a World Series.
Ohtani to the Snakes. Are we calling it?
See, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Ohtani. I'm not sure if Ohtani would be the best move.
Yeah, I'm mostly joking with that, but it would be crazy to see.
Yeah, but like if you see a guy like, I mean, outfield they've been solid, but if you see a guy like Cody Bellinger, like and Stroman.
Yeah.
Could they pull a massive deal and get the both of them? I don't know. I think they'll sell them separately to get more back. But like, if I'm the Diamondbacks, I'm looking at the National League, and it's a tough map. But you look at the team you have and the work you've done already, and I say, you know what? Like, this team is ready. It's ready to make a push. Corbin Carroll is competing at, I mean, top 10 at least, maybe even top 5. You could say National League MVP. So far this season, he's definitely going to be Rookie of the Year. All respect to Ellie De La Cruz, but like he's just if Cruz got called up earlier, probably Cruz would have gotten it. But I mean, Corbin Carroll has been fantastic. Like I watched him play, you would not know he's a rookie. His just approach at the plate is incredible.
He's ridiculous.
That is a team that I need to see go all in.
Yeah,
and I know it's scary. You see, you know the Dodgers there. You see the Giants. Maybe the Padres do something crazy. Probably not though, but. I mean, there are some really good, like the Braves. There's some really good NL teams, but I think the Diamondbacks have a chance to win the pennant.
Yeah, but not just crazy. Looking at some.
Dark horse.
I totally agree with that, Ben. This team should be in your pennant watch. Like they are that good. I'm just like looking at some of the names on like expiring contracts they could go out and get, or some ones that jumped out to me that I like. Hunter Renfroe would be perfect on the D-backs.
Could see it.
He's got a cannon, dude can hit. Obviously pitching. Some names such as, like, obviously I said Cease earlier. I could even see Lance Lynn. If they want a veteran outfielder, Charlie Blackmon's not having an awesome season, but they could probably get him for very cheap. Like, there's some names they could get. Names they could get. Oh my God, Erod too, if he's healthy in time.
Erod
would be a really big pull. But there's so many guys that they go out and get. I would expect to see this team like leading up to the deadline and on deadline day really improve their roster.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you going to disagree?
No. I'm kind of disagreeing. I wouldn't all in buy. I don't think this team is as good as they were playing. I think they're falling back down to earth. I don't think they're a bad team, but I would watch out for the San Diego Padres. This team's still only 5.5 out of the wild card. I'm still gonna keep saying it. I mean, I don't know what is going on with the Padres. I'm gonna say that's the next team. I have two more teams left. San Diego Padres, buying or selling.
Oh, ooh.
Because I'm gonna say this: the Mets also in that same category. If I'm the Mets, I sell. If I'm the Padres, I buy. That's what I think right now.
I agree with that, Beckett. No, I agree with that because the Mets have been a mess. The Padres have just been inconsistent. Like, they've had some games where they look really good. They look like the Padres. They've had some series where they just don't. The Mets have just been a shit show from start to finish.
Saw that yesterday.
If the Padres are... if the Brett Beatty... I don't want to make fun of the kid, but Brett Beatty's that pop-up is just infamous at this point.
Terrible.
But back on topic. If you are the Padres, and if you decide to buy, you have to go all in. Because, like, they have a lot of ground to make up. If they're going to buy, they need to make some massive moves like they did, like, last year, right? When they got Soto, got Hader, locked in, and really went on a push. They're going to need to do that again. I don't know where the fuck they're going to find the prospects or the roster space or the money to do that because they're already pretty top-heavy. If they're going to buy, they need to go all in. I don't think they're going to be able to make up that ground. I don't think they should buy. I think they should sell off some expiring guys, recognize this is not their year, recognize something went terribly wrong this year, figure out what the fuck didn't click, and address that in the offseason. Don't do anything drastic now. If you start playing better, if you can vault the Giants, great. If you can sneak into a wild card, great. if they're this team should not buy. I don't think they should sell like crazy, but they should not buy unless they think it's absolutely the right move and like fucking Hail Mary it and go grab like I don't know. Ohtani's really the only franchise-changing guy on the market right now.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their trade rumors, and obviously Juan Soto's in it, and it's kind of surprising.
It's so ridiculous to me
because it's like they literally just went out and gave up a ton of prospects to get him, and sure they could afford to pay him, and sure it seems like Juan Soto's happy there, but like at the same time, it's like. You went out and made so many splashes. You've bought over the past few years. It's not working. Like, you got to the NLCS last year, but you're not dominating the regular season like everybody thought you would. There's clearly something wrong. This team, as it is right now, won't win in October. Mm-hmm. But I think the problem is you have to – it's like a decision. You're at a crossroads right now. Are you going in and you're just going to keep buying until – and you could see them if it – their total buying doesn't work, the downside is disastrous. You know, they ruin a good thing they got going if they continue to buy and it doesn't work. At the same time, like, selling doesn't look good to the superstars that are there. Like, it doesn't look good to a guy like Machado, who's starting to get up there in age, Tatis. I mean, you just went out and got Xander. I think if they sell, it'll be either one guy, like a Juan Soto kind of thing, and just get a shit ton of prospects back for him, or it'll be a situation where they're dealing some vets.
Mm-hmm. Like Matt Carpenter, I could see go on.
Yeah, Matt
like
Carpenter.
Dudes like that. Even Cronenworth, I could see getting shipped out. But it's so weird because as like up and down as they've been, they have the fourth best like pitching staff in the game. They have the fourth best ERA. So the pitching has been perfectly fine, and Snell has been shoving. Yu has been shoving. The pitching's been awesome. Just they're not winning games, and because the hitting has not been like league worst atrocious like the Yankees or any team like that. They're just not winning games, so they need to figure out, exactly where they're losing ground and losing games. Because I haven't looked at their expected. Their expected wins loss is 56 and 44, and they're 48 and 52.
Yep.
So they're just not closing games out.
It's a similar issue, Soto and Ohtani, because if you decide to sell other pieces at the deadline, you don't make the playoffs. What incentive? There's not. You're starting to lose a little ground with your motivation for getting Soto to want to resign. You could have a situation where he's like, "Well, you guys sold at the deadline last year. You didn't make the playoffs. This is ridiculous. I'm out. I can get money wherever I want."
Yeah,
but then
he might already be thinking that because they gave money to Xander, money to Machado, money to Tatis, only so much to spend. He could maybe want to go out the door.
I think selling Blake Snell would be a good decision for them.
That would be
solely
bold,
because
but
I don't believe they're going to make the playoffs. And I think you're selling Blake Snell at his peak right now because he's putting up great numbers right now.
So do what the Rays did to get him to San Diego. I see it. What you're thinking.
So, I don't know if I would sell Soto if I were them. I think I wouldn't hate anything that they do, I don't think, at the deadline. I don't think there's a decision they could make at the deadline that I would say, okay, they completely messed up. This was terrible, whatever. I mean, obviously, they could do something stupid, like trade somebody and get, terrible prospects back. But aside from, that, whether they buy or sell, as long as they do it convincingly and they don't pull a Chaim Bloom and half, I think they'll be all right. I just don't see them. I mean, listen, if you can work out an extension with Soto at the deadline, do it. I think that's a priority for them. If they can guarantee he's going to be back there next year for the next how many years, I think that's reassurance. If you can do that, maybe sell a guy like Snell, sell some veterans, and say we're going all in for it next year. Kind of pull a Mets, basically. I don't know if the Mets are going to sell guys like Verlander and Scherzer. I think they might sell Scherzer, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's tough because they have them on team control for next year, so they could just say, you know what, we're going to sell a few pieces and then kind of all in again next year. But honestly, I think Mets and Padres both will sell. I think you're going to see pitchers go. I think you're going to see them try to make an effort to retain Soto. I think he's going to say yes, he's going to resign. It's going to be rough for them. they might have to do a little buying in addition to selling Snell as well. So
I would go Padres. I say all out buy. I think this team is talented enough. You look at the teams in front of them. You got Chicago, not very good. San Francisco has lost 6 in a row. Miami's been slumping. And I still don't believe in Arizona.
I don't believe in the Marlins.
100%.
That's a different tangent, though.
I think San Diego sneaks in the wild card if they buy 2 pieces. Like, just
who would you buy? Tell me right now, who would you buy?
I don't even know. That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
It's like, what do they need? Where have they gone wrong? They have all the pieces, but they don't have all the pieces. Like, this team,
they're just not winning. Like, their pitching is one of the best in the league. Their hitting is nothing special, but middle of the pack. They're just not winning games. Yeah, even though their expected win-loss is pretty good, they're not actually closing games out. So I think they need help, obviously.
I think they'll figure it out. If I were them, I would buy. And I guess let's do one more team.
I would say, like...
And then wrap it up. Does that work?
Oh, Beckett, you froze for a minute, but yeah.
Oops. All right. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah.
I got sticking to the National League. I just mentioned them. Miami Marlins, 2-8 in the last 10. Right now, tied for the last NL wildcard.
Yeah. So, as I was saying about these Marlins, I don't believe the Marlins this year. Like, the Marlins are the definition of a pretender team for me. Their record is way better than it should be.
Yep.
And it's been a minute since I looked at the standings in full. But the last time I really looked at their standings, their expected win-loss was so much worse than their actual record.
Yeah, right now their expected win-loss is 48 and 53, and they're 54 and 47.
Yeah.
So that's a 6 difference.
This is not a team that I think can win a playoff series. If I'm being 100% honest.
Yep.
Yeah, the standings have them where they have them. They have them, getting it done. They've been basically doing the opposite of what the Padres have been doing, and actually closing out games they shouldn't be able to close out. If I am the Marlins, I think you buy because you're in a playoff position. You're third in the East. You're in decent standing. You maybe can play with the Phillies, jump them, and they're ahead of them for a while. I think you buy a couple arms, you buy a couple bats. I would not do anything insane. Don't sell any of your top 5 prospects. Keep those guys locked in if you really want to build a good young core. But you know what? This is the first winning season the Marlins have really had in a while. 2020 was a fever dream. Honestly, those 2020 Marlins were just... I don't know what was going on there. But it is the first real winning record they've had in a while. Fucking go for it. What's the worst that could happen?
See, if I have to choose between the Marlins making the playoffs or the Padres, which do I think is more likely? I'm going to say the Padres.
I would put money on the Padres, yeah.
But still, I think with the Marlins, you look at other teams that are in the hunt, like Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati has the youth movement, the energy,
I like Cincinnati
the players.
better on them.
I think they are in a better position to buy maybe a bigger piece. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be Ohtani. I'd love it to be Ohtani, but I just don't think they'll sell all their top prospects like that. I don't think it's necessarily the smartest move, but honestly, I think the best move for Miami is selling off some contracts. You identified your core. Luis Arias has just been incredible. I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't touch, guys like Jazz. Sandy Alcantara has been rough, but I don't think I'd touch him either. If you ask me what should the Marlins sell, I'd just honestly say I don't really know. I don't really know their expired
contracts. I feel like they could get a lot for Jorge Soler, honestly.
That's a good one.
They could get a lot for him, probably. Or, not they're not going to get 10 prospects. A couple good guys.
Yeah. They're the kind of team that I could see doing one move and it's Jorge Soler. I think
get
they
rid
have
of Johnny Cueto or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
Cueto's a good. Yeah, I think they make one smaller move. It's either a buy or a sell, but it's kind of a let the ship stay its course and just see kind of what happens.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think that's kind of why I'm saying buy because they don't have a ton of pieces they could actually sell. And shit, they're winning games, so go get some arms, see what happens. Maybe you make a run. Maybe you prove me wrong. I would love for the Marlins to prove me wrong.
Sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up the farm if I'm the Marlins for anything, but small move or two. I don't really know who they have to sell, so I don't know. They're right on the line. coming next week? Trade deadline episode?
Oh, yeah. We'll do a recap of everything.
Yeah, we're trying to get a little bit more on schedule as, the summer has been a summer. But, we're excited. Postseason baseball coming back will be in person.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Only a few more episodes of this thing. So.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Alrighty. Awesome. Who's leading us out?
Who let us in? I don't remember. Beckett.
Becky,
you want to take us out?
Oh, I got to take us out too? All right, well, I don't know what I'm saying here, but thanks for listening. Episode 7. Check us out. Twitter, Instagram. Will this be going up on YouTube?
Yeah, I think so. Twitter's a weird X now. What's up with that?
Yeah, that is meta. What is it called?
I logged on this morning and the logo is different. I don't understand.
Yeah. They took the Twitter.
Do that for me. I'm still a bird.
Dude,
that's
so weird.
I don't even know. I don't know what's happening. But we are still on Twitter. Check us out. Check out Ballin'. We'll be back next week. Trade deadline content. Thanks for listening. Yeah, on a core.